come up with something like that?
Hey guys, how's it going? Welcome to 90s Tastic. And today we are going to learn how to use the internet. So let's go back to 1995 and take a look at how to go online.
We'll take you step by step through learning to use your computer software.
So I'm going to be watching this tape for the first time with you guys.
Now are some other tapes available in our series. When using these tapes,
Video
we suggest
Professor
you watch them
series.
in their entirety. Then go back with
Learn
your
DOS.
computer and practice each
I
step.
miss DOS. DOS was awesome.
In keeping with the video professor's dedication,
I used to have
giving
DOS
you
on my
the best lessons
486.
possible, we have packed these tapes with information, and sometimes
Lotus
move at a
1, 2,
pace
3.
that is faster than you will be able to follow along with as you are working with
Quattro
your computer.
Pro Quicken.
Remember, you
Turbo
can always
Dax.
pause or rewind the tape to learn each part.
Wow,
now
man.
let's get started.
Alright, I'm ready to learn the internet.
The internet, the information highway,
Wow, look
the
at
new
those
electronic
graphics.
frontier. These phrases and concepts are becoming increasingly popular, while many of us don't really know what these terms mean. In this lesson, we will not only introduce you to the basic concepts of these high-tech buzzwords, but by following along
I
with
want
our
my
easy-to-understand instructions, we'll have you on the internet, actually driving on the information highway,
Wow.
and experiencing for yourself what these advances in communications and computer technologies might hold
Man.
in store for you.
Those graphics
In
are
this lesson,
amazing.
we will cover the system requirements needed to get on the internet.
Oh,
how
I
to
hope
set
my
up a
PC can
connection
run
with
it.
an internet provider. We'll see how to use electronic mail transfer or email, and see
Electronic
how to
mail
browse in the
transfer.
new World Wide Web. We'll also display many places you can go for finding interesting subjects. Finally, at the
Pornhub.
end of this tape, we will review some other
RedTube.
services and products available to help you play with and fully take advantage of the internet.
Services
In
and
order to
products.
do that, I'm going to assume that each of you are familiar with the basics of computer operation, and especially the Windows environment.
Yeah.
If you need a review, may I suggest my tapes on getting started
Windows
with your
10,
personal computer
baby.
and learning Windows.
Learn Windows.
With
Okay,
this
man.
basic
We got to get
understanding, we're ready
learn
to
Windows
go.
next.
Don't expect a lot of technical detail from this tape, but do get ready to actually experience the reality of the electronic frontier, because we're about to tour the internet with the video professor.
Oh my god.
I'd like to introduce my assistant, Suzanne. She is new to the internet, too. So we'll all be learning together. Just follow
Suzanne.
along with Suzanne, and you'll be speeding
Wow,
down the
what a-
information highway in no time.
What a beautiful fake smile. It's like, what the fuck am I doing here?
Professor, what exactly is the internet?
Oh my god, Suzanne, shut up.
Suzanne, that's a perfect place to start. What exactly is the internet?
Just listen
Best
to this
defined,
tape
the
and
internet
shut up.
is a system of interconnected computers. Some of these computers are single, standalone units. Some are entire networks comprised of multiple computers like you might find on a college campus. But what makes the internet is the fact that they are linked together by communication paths and are all in agreement to use the same set of communication language, rules, or protocols. The internet is estimated to connect some hundreds of thousands of computers and computer networks
Hundreds
and link
of
together
thousands.
over 10 million or more
Technically-
individual users.
Technically,
If you
this
think
is
that
a
these numbers
true
sound
fact. I'm pretty
imprecise,
sure we're at
it's because
least
the
a
internet
few
is growing so fast
10
and
of
is so
thousands of
loosely
people
organized
using it.
that no one really knows exactly how many computers or users there really are.
There must be at
And
least
by the end of this
17
tape,
users.
you will be
Come
one
on.
of the growing number of individuals who are discovering the secrets and the pleasures of the internet.
It's a zombie
What's most
epidemic
important about this
spreading.
huge network is what it does. When our computer terminals are connected to the internet, we can view information that resides in our own cities, or in another state, or in another country halfway around the world.
Whoa.
The
This
beauty
is
of the
amazing.
internet is that we don't have to know about how it works. We can just accept the fact that it does work smoothly, easily, and seamlessly on a worldwide basis.
This is so interesting. Alright, let's see what we need to go on the internet.
Suzanne, I think the first thing we should do is list
Alright,
the
guys,
things we
take
need in order
notes.
to gain access to the internet. The computer is the first item on the list.
You guys need
Your
a
computer
computer?
must have a modem that is connected to
A
a telephone
modem?
line. You'll also need data
You need a
communication
telephone line?
software
Man,
and
I'm
access
screwed.
to an internet gateway. Let's take a look at the
I don't
details
have a
for each
modem.
item and be sure we understand what they are and how they work.
I don't have a
The
telephone line.
first item on our list
Oh
is
my
a computer.
god, I'm screwed.
So in order to do everything we have planned for you today, we better make a list of some minimum hardware and software requirements.
I can't wait
Your
to see this.
microprocessor should be a 386 or 486.
I had
You
a
will need at least
486.
4 megabytes of random access memory. Your hard drive will need at least 3.5 megabytes of free space.
Wow,
You will also
3
need a mouse,
megabytes.
a keyboard,
Ooh, I'm
and
not
a
sure I have
monitor
that.
with VGA or higher capabilities.
VGA or
The system needs to
SVGA.
be running on DOS 3.1 or higher and Windows 3.1 or higher. A printer and a Windows-compatible sound card are
3.1.
optional
Oh my
but very
God.
useful. Since we will be using
Printer?
Windows-based access software,
Why the hell do we
you
want
will
a
need
printer?
Windows in order to follow along. There are internet access tools for DOS PCs, Macintoshes, OS2s, and just about
Macintoshes?
every other type of operating system in use today. Suzanne will be
Which are pretty
demonstrating this
one-
lesson on a
pretty much the ones that you
Windows-based
just
486
mentioned.
computer. But no matter what you use, once you've connected to the internet, everything should look more or less the same no matter what kind of computer you have. A
Yeah, so it
modem
doesn't
allows
make
the
a difference.
computer to translate its data into a signal that can travel over a standard telephone line to talk to another computer.
Can I go on the internet on
You will
my
need
Super
a Hayes-compatible
Nintendo?
modem that runs at least 9,600 bits per second.
Oh
the modem
my
can be
god, that's a
internal
lot
or
of bits.
external. Your computer, like Suzanne's, may have an internal modem card, meaning an electronics board, which is already an internal part of your system. Or you may be using an external modem,
Yes.
a device that uses a cable to attach to one of your computer ports and sits next to your system as a separate box. The type of modem, as
Yeah,
well
let
as
me
the
go on
modem
eBay
speed,
to get one
are
of those external
considerations that you
modems.
should
Oh
talk
wait,
to your
I can't
computer
go
dealer
on
about.
eBay. Damn it!
The faster the modem is able to transfer data, the faster the internet information will seem to appear. My personal recommendation is a 14.4 modem or faster because of the size of the graphics files that we tend to find on the World Wide Web, which we'll be visiting. The number refers to the bits or pieces of information per second that the modem can transfer. Remember,
14.4
speed is
bps.
time on the
Oh my
computer.
god.
The faster you can get information, the less time you'll spend waiting for it, and the less connect time you'll pay for.
How
Our
much?
next
How
item
much
is a
did that
telephone line.
cost
This
when
will
it
give us
came
the
out?
communication path into an internet
I'm curious.
access point. Suzanne is using a standard analog telephone voice line. If you happen to have any telephone extensions in the house, make sure nobody picks up another receiver while your computer is using it, or your connection will be
It's not even a
seriously disrupted.
56K, it's a 14K modem.
Communication
Oh my god,
software
how much
is the
did it
next
sell
requirement.
for?
The software activates the modem and is often supplied along with it. Alternatively, some internet service providers
I
may
want to buy
provide their
one.
own
Here,
communication
I'm gonna
software.
go shopping.
In this lesson, we'll be
30
using Prodigy for
32
Windows
bucks.
software that is packaged with the tape because we feel at this time it offers the easiest way
Oh,
to
Prodigy
access the internet.
service. Oh my god.
A number of gateway types are available through access providers. Some providers offer plain vanilla access directly to the internet
Plain
with no
vanilla,
bells and whistles, which generally means little or no instruction
Vanilla.
on how to use the internet resources. This is usually attractive to users who are already familiar with the internet. Some service providers, such
Just
as
like World of
Prodigy,
Warcraft,
offer other
plain
services
vanilla.
in addition to internet access. Also, they are geared to provide very user-friendly, menu-driven access that is much more helpful to the beginner-level user.
Yeah, just like
Quite
us.
often, this type of service provider will supply a software package that provides both the basic communication software and the complete menu that walks you through all the necessary steps with an easy-to-use point-and-click interface.
Yay.
That makes learning about the internet and its resources easier, quicker, and much less frustrating.
Okay,
Well,
come on, show
Suzanne,
me
first
more.
we'll need to locate the Prodigy disk and load it into our system. At the end of the lesson, we will also demonstrate how to install America Online and list other service providers.
Breathe with me.
If your modem uses another program, for instance a fax program, you should exit that application before starting this setup process.
Yeah,
The
I'm gonna
modem
use
must
my
be
fax
available for
program.
Prodigy to use during the installation. Make sure your computer is on and your program manager is running. Now, click
Program
the File
manager.
menu and select Run.
Oh my god, I remember that.
Place the Prodigy disk in your floppy drive. In the File Run dialog box, type
A
A:"
Oh,
install.
Yeah, I remember.
If your floppy drive is different than A, change the drive letter in this command. Click OK. The installation program suggests a drive and directory to install the software. On most systems, this will be the C drive and a directory called Prodigy. You can change this if necessary for your system. Prodigy wants to install on our D drive, Suzanne,
Oh,
which is
that's
fine, so
CD-ROM,
click
the
OK.
CD-ROM.
Next, the installation
Yo,
program
Suzanne.
offers to search your system
God
for the
damn it.
modem connection. Click the search button, Suzanne,
No.
and when the results of the search is reported, click OK.
Modem found.
With
on
these
port
details
COM3.
handled,
Okay,
Prodigy
that's
installation proceeds to copy the appropriate files onto your computer. Installation doesn't take very long at all, but a little longer than we want to show on this tape.
Cool. Doesn't
So
take
we'll skip
very
to the
long
end.
at all. So let's get
When it's done, the communication software is loaded on the computer.
3 hours
Click
later.
OK on the finished message. You can take your disk out of the computer now and keep it in a safe place in case you ever need to reinstall.
Yeah.
The installation
use it as a
program created a
coaster.
new group window in your program manager with an icon for Prodigy. Now that we have communication software, the next step is to find out what phone number to use to have our modem dial into Prodigy.
Oh man, I
Double-click the
remember.
Prodigy icon,
Oh, man,
Suzanne,
it was
to
so
start this step.
complicated.
Both the software installation and the account setup steps need to be done once only. And then you're up and running. The other one-time only step is to give the folks at Prodigy your credit card number.
Ah, yeah, of
You
course.
will be
Give your credit
billed
card
for your
number.
connect time charges after your initial free hours are used up.
How much did it
In return
cost?
for the credit card number, you'll get an account ID and password.
Prodigy.
You've started the Prodigy software on your own computer, Suzanne, and this is the screen that you'll always get when you want to sign on to the service. Notice the 800 number listed here for questions and assistance if you have a problem making your connection. Enter your ID
Online
and password in the
service.
indicated boxes.
Does it say how much it costs? Price increase.
To complete the
30
telephone
email
number setup
message
process,
free each
click the
month.
View Highlights button.
While charging 25 cents for each additional email message.
The dialog
Imagine
box asks some
having to
questions
pay
about your
25
phone
cents per
connection.
email.
If your computer is linked to an office phone, you may need to dial 9 to get an outside line. The dialog box allows you to make that change. Ours is a direct connection, Suzanne, so leave it blank. We do need to dial 1 before an 800 number, which will be used to find the closest local telephone number for our access to Prodigy. The X's are added or removed by simply clicking on the box. The dial settings are correct
doesn't
for our
mention-
phone. Viewers make any changes you
Oh.
need now if your settings are different than ours.
What
The
did I
bottom
miss?
of
What
this
did I
dialog
miss?
box handles modem information. The COM3 port is okay for us. Yours may be different. The default Prodigy selected is probably where your modem is,
Didn't
so
they
leave it
say that we
selected.
needed like 9600?
Our modem
Yeah,
can go
okay.
faster than
Yeah, that's what I
2400.
thought.
So we need to click the 14.4
Yeah.
speed on the list.
Because we spent
Viewers select the
800
fastest
bucks
speed that
on
your
our
modem uses now. As the instructions at the top of this dialog box tells us, if you are unsure of any of your settings, don't change them. Prodigy will attempt to connect using the listed defaults. Our settings are okay, Suzanne, so click OK.
Come on, Suzanne.
The
stop
small dialog
bitching
boxes
around.
keep you advised of progress as your modem dials into the Prodigy phone directory.
Enter your
You
credit
may
card
also
number.
hear the dial tones and connection sounds from your modem. Once a connection is established, basically where the computer at the other end of the line picks up the phone and says hello in computer tones, you'll get a welcome screen.
Okay, that's cool. The
After a
latest
short
model
download,
streams
the Prodigy computer is sending
database will be
information
sent
to your
computer
computer.
at no charge.
Click on the
Aw,
right
that's
arrow at the
nice.
bottom of the screen.
So it's basically
The
showing
next
you how to
screen
connect
asks for
to
your area code
this
and the
provider.
first 3 digits of your phone number, so it can give you a list of
555.
local numbers to dial. Ours is 303-232, so type that in and click the Start Search button.
303-232.
Here's the list of local numbers, and we can use the top one on the list since we have a fast modem.
So
The
that's in
14.4
Denver.
tells us the modem speed
They
on
were
the
in
phone line.
Denver. Okay, that's cool.
Click the box
Colorado
next to the
Spring,
number
yep.
you want to use. The dialog box asks if you have call waiting service on your phone line. Click the proper response for your phone. If you leave call waiting active, your service will be interrupted if you receive another call.
Yeah, no, I don't want
Viewers,
call
some
waiting.
additional dialog boxes may appear asking specific questions about your connection to the selected phone number.
Hey, imagine being
Give the
kicked off
answers
the
of
internet
your
everybody,
particular
every time
situation.
somebody calls you.
When you finish selecting the primary number, you have
that
the
would've
option
been
of
awesome.
selecting a second number to use if the first one is busy. Follow the same process to answer the questions on the screen according to your own choices. When you finish selecting numbers, the options are to save these numbers or start over. If you're satisfied with your choices, click button 1. The last screen in the phone directory reminds you that you must pay for any phone company charges, such as long distance
God,
or
this
time
looks
units
like so
for computer
complicated.
calls, just as you do for your voice connections. The flashing Reconnect Now button will use the new phone number to actually dial into the Prodigy system. Click that button, Suzanne, and we're on our way. All of your setup work is complete at this point. In future sessions, all you need to do is open this window and enter your ID and password and let the Prodigy software do the dialing.
All right. So what do we get for doing all of this?
Well, here we are. We've successfully made the connection with Prodigy's computer. We're not quite on the internet yet, but there's lots of fun stuff here as well.
All right.
Viewers, you
Oh
may
my
have some automatic updates loaded onto your computer when the
That was
welcome screen
awesome.
appears, or at other times during an online session. This process keeps your software up to date with the latest good stuff. Since this is constantly
Earn a free
happening
month.
with online services, your screen will probably look different from Suzanne's because of changes that have happened since we created this
man.
lesson. I'm sure you'll still be able to follow along anyway. At any rate, you are now connected to a service provider who can serve as a gateway to the internet. Remember that Prodigy is not the same thing as the internet, but it is our gateway. No doubt you'll want to explore the many options available directly from Prodigy. But we've
Yeah, of
promised to
course.
drive on the information highway, so let's go find that on-ramp.
When we pay $10 an hour, of course, I want to go and take a look to see at their menu.
Again, this is the Prodigy welcome screen, Suzanne. As with any Windows program, this screen has
Suzanne, you already
familiar
cost me
Windows
like
features.
$35.
The menu at the top offers access to a variety of commands. The buttons in the main menu window lead to several types of topics and activities.
Holy
The
crap!
buttons along the right side will lead you into various fun places,
Shopping
including some internet
preference.
connection points.
Man, that's
They're
awesome.
easy to follow, and I'm sure you'll want to explore them on your own.
Oh yeah,
But our
I would
fastest access
totally
to internet
do it.
connections is with the buttons along the bottom. Notice that the left button looks like a miniature picture of this screen. The button will always lead you back to the starting point in case you get lost. Our tour of the internet will begin with email, and then we'll take a look at the World Wide Web. Each of those services have a button, and there are others to explore as well. Once you're oriented, you can have lots of fun. So let's get on with the orientation.
Sending
Click the mail button,
emails.
Suzanne, to open Prodigy's mail messaging system. Viewers, you may get a download here if you've just set up a new account. Electronic mail is very similar to regular post office mail, except that it's faster, since it travels through computer and telephone line connections. We can build on our understanding of a regular
imagine it
letter to see
taking
how
like
email
3 weeks
works.
to send an email.
In regular mail, you write the address on the envelope using the person's name, street address, city, state, and zip. Email also has to have an address, and it includes the information needed to route a message from your computer along the phone connections to someone else's computer. An email address follows a pattern, just like a postal address. Suzanne clicked the right button to open the
Look
screen
at
where
that
we can write
chat,
a message
real-time
and send it.
conversation.
An email address starts with the person's computer name.
I bet that was like the most popular
In a moment,
options.
I'll show you how to build your own email address on this service. For now, let's all send a letter to Santa Claus. It may be a little early
Okay,
in the
guys, this
season, but we
officially
can give
counts
the elves
as
a
a
head
Christmas
start
video.
this year. I happen to
see?
have Santa's email address right here.
This is awesome.
In the to box, Suzanne types Santa, the @sign,
The
north.pole.org. You can see it on the screen here. Make sure not to use any spaces in any address.
Isn't
Santa
that
has
what
his
she did?
email address
Oh, no,
set
okay.
up to
She
use his
used
own
that.
name as the computer
There it
name.
is.
Your computer name on Prodigy is the ID you use to sign on. Other
Ooh.
services might use a number or a variation of a person's name. It varies from service to service. The name in an email address is always followed by an @sign. And following the
Okay, guys,
@sign is
remember
the
this. Take
address of the
notes.
service provider mailbox. On Prodigy, that address is prodigy.com.
Professor, I think I see the basic structure of an email address, but how do I find
Shut
out
up,
someone
Suzanne.
else's address so I can send them mail?
There are some reference sources, but the internet is growing so rapidly that
Is
they
there like
aren't
a
very
phone
complete.
book?
The
Just
best way is
ask
to
the
simply
guy.
ask the person
Yeah,
directly.
there we go.
At
What's
the
your
end of this
email?
part of the
I
lesson,
don't know.
I'll also give you a list of email addresses for some well-known people.
Really?
I'm sure
Oh,
that
wow.
you'll want
I
to
wanna
build
see
your
that.
own address book of names that you'll use often. In fact, an address book is built into this program to help you keep track of your email friends. For now, let's get back to our email
Oh my
screen,
God, this
Suzanne.
This is amazing.
We have an address entered, so tab to the next section, Subject.
What's the subject?
This is a space where you can give a short title to your message. When email
Okay,
shows
it's
up
really
in your
showing you
mailbox,
how to send an
you'll
email.
see who it's
Wow,
from
okay.
and the title they've given it. When you start getting lots of messages, this helps sort through the stack of mail. So when you send a message to someone else, the title helps them sort it out as well. You can use any kind of title you like. Let's call this message a new modem. Type that title into the
Dear
subject box,
Santa,
Suzanne,
I want a new modem.
and tab to the next area. We're finally ready to type the message to Santa Claus.
$10, that's
Email
what she's gonna
messages
write.
can be as simple or as complicated as you like. We'll keep this one short and to the point. Suzanne type, Dear Santa, I've been really good so
Wow.
far this year.
Okay, and he waits for her to write it? Wow, okay.
And I'd really like to get a faster modem for my computer.
Bring me a modem, bitch. Oh, wow. What's a computer?
Thanks.
Oh my god, Suzanne. Oh, thanks.
See you at Christmas. Now I'll show you a fun little thing that's used in cyberspace to add some
Wow.
personality to electronic messages. It's called a smiley. Type an apostrophe,
Seriously?
a hyphen, and a right parentheses. Now turn your head sideways to look at it, and you can see a little smiling face with one eye winking.
Oh wow, man. This
With a
video
little
is awesome.
experimentation, I'm sure you can think of other expressions to add to your messages.
I'm pretty
There's
sure
your
that
letter
we
to
can
Santa,
draw
Suzanne.
penis.
Professor, I didn't sign it. How will he know who it's from?
Oh, come on, Suzanne.
You're right, Suzanne.
Nobody
it's a courtesy
cares.
to add a sign-off. Many folks add quotes
Santa
and other
doesn't
taglines
care.
to their email messages as well. But even if you didn't, your computer name would be automatically added to the message and displayed in your receiver's incoming mailbox
Man,
along
they
with the
showed
subject line.
smiley.
Go ahead and type your
The
name
wink.
at the
It's not
bottom,
even a
Suzanne.
smiley face, it's a wink.
This is a good place to use your real name instead of your email name. That's it, Suzanne. Your email is ready to go. All you need to do to send it is click send. On the screen now is a list of email addresses. You can send mail to any of them using exactly the same
Ross,
procedure we just followed.
Bill Clinton?
You'll also quickly collect your
Al
own
Gore?
list of email addresses as you talk with
Oh,
online
man, we
friends and
gotta write
exchange
them.
messages. Happy mailing.
White House.
But it's time for us to
yeah,
move
we
on
should,
to the
we
next
should
topic,
totally
Suzanne.
write to them.
A visit to the World
Roger
Wide
Ebert,
Web.
Santa Claus. Free Software Foundation? What the hell? What the hell is that?
The World Wide Web is the fastest growing segment of the Internet
Okay, guys,
and
we
is the
gotta
primary
spam
focus
these
of the
guys.
new commercial elements that are appearing on the Internet.
They're gonna be like,
But
why is
most
everybody
importantly,
writing to us?
it is the most fun. It is often just called the web for short. Click on the web button at the bottom of your screen, Suzanne, to shift over to the web
Dear
browser
Mr. Clinton,
screen.
I've been very good so far this year. Please send me a new modem.
Two distinctive features of the
for my
web
computer.
include hypertext
See you at
links
Christmas.
and multimedia. Hypertext allows a user to point and click on words or objects to move to a new
Hypertext.
location or file. You have already
You mean
been
like a
using
link?
hypertext right here on the Prodigy screen, where clicking on a
Wow.
name or icon opens a new file within the program.
It's called a
The
hypertext,
unique
you
difference between this
motherfucker.
screen and the hypertext found on the web is that a click on the web may move you to a completely different computer site halfway around the world. This shift won't even be noticeable to you except for a small time lag as the screen changes. There is no
A
long
small
distance charge
time
for
lag
this
of like
move.
3 hours.
It is simply a link that is built into the document and managed by the Internet connection and the web program. Multimedia is a fairly new feature to the Internet. You are probably used to plain text, typed words, like in the
wow.
email which we just sent. In the web, we now have access to full-color graphic images, sound, and even motion pictures. That is why our computer system requirements include the high-resolution VGA monitor and the optional sound card, as well as the faster processing and modem speed. And one more brief explanation before we get started. Why is it called the web? With the hypertext links,
it's like a
web
spider web.
documents are continuously being connected together. Each hypertext pointer ties one web page to another web page and another with a simple click of the mouse. The process creates an intricate crisscross of resources that might literally look like a spider web weaving together
Yeah.
computers from
See, I
all
called
over
it.
the world. We're looking at Prodigy's World Wide Web browser. A browser is software that gives you access to the web. It translates the hypertext links into behind-the-scenes commands so you can easily surf the web. Web surfing means just following various links out of curiosity. A web surfer uses the hypertext links to move from one home page to the next home page just to see where they'll end up. A home page
Just
is
to
the
see
first
on what
page of a
the-
web location.
On what
Having a
website they're
home
gonna end
page
up.
is often referred to as having a presence on the web. And people are adding new home pages by the minute.
Oh yeah. That's a porn.
Remember, the web is changing daily.
Hey, where's Zelda?
Links that you find
Link,
today
link,
may
link,
be
link,
changed tomorrow, and new links will certainly be added. Believe me, the web is a very dynamic place. Viewers, this means that what you see on your computer may not be exactly the same as what Suzanne saw when we taped this lesson. I believe you'll be able to follow along anyway and learn how this works. At this point, we are still on Prodigy, not yet on the internet. A quick look at the buttons along the right side of the browser gives several possible destinations. There is a button marked Common Questions. On the internet, anytime you see a file marked Common Questions or Frequently Asked Questions, FAQs, it is a good thing to look at. Many people have the same problems using the internet, so you can be pretty sure that someone has already asked the question you are thinking of, and the answer is right there. The top button, Browse the Web, is how we'll actually enter the web.
Oh, come on.
So as soon as you're ready, Suzanne, click
Click
that button to drive out onto the information highway in the lane called the World Wide Web. The first place we go, set as a default by the software itself, is Prodigy's own home page. As you recall, a home page is a web location. From most home pages, you can follow the hypertext links to other places, whether you're just surfing the web or looking for a specific topic.
Oh my god, this is awesome.
A few of these links to other places are available on the Prodigy home page. They are the underlined text in blue type. When you move your mouse across them, it changes to a pointing hand. Several of these topics look interesting, but we'll leave those for your own curiosity later. In a minute, we're going to move into the fast lane. First, let's take a look at the web browser page because its layout and function are fairly typical of many of the browsers available. In addition to the standard menu bar, web browsers typically have a row of icons or control buttons and an image near the top.
Oh my god, this sucks.
This one is the Prodigy star graphic. This image goes into motion whenever the browser is actively seeking out a new destination, just to let you know that something is happening. Another common feature, which we will learn to use in just a moment, is the document title and document URL area. The document title and document URL areas are automatically filled in to identify the website showing on the screen.
Hey, that's
the document title is exactly that, a title given to this homepage document when it was loaded into the computer. This is called an HTM. The URL is a uniform resource location. This is an address of a home page. Just like email, every home page has a unique URL, a unique address that identifies a document on a particular computer, the web browser in this case. These often start with http:// followed by the name assigned to the computer. This one is Antares. The .prodigy.com part of the address looks similar to your email address, doesn't it? This is because it names Prodigy's location on the internet. The rest of the address following the slash is the document name, welcome.htm. At the bottom of the screen is a status bar which also displays URLs. Other URLs are displayed when you point to a hypertext link. Suzanne moved the mouse pointer along the row of blue hypertext in the page text. Each time you point to a new jump point, the destination URL is shown on the bottom line. By looking there first, you will know where the link point is, whether local or distant. Let's look at the row of buttons next.
Oh, come on.
Browsers will generally have very similar quick access to these types of commands for working on the web. The stop button is fairly obvious. When you begin a process and decide that it was a wrong choice or it is taking too long, you simply hit the stop button to abort. The back button is very important and very useful.
Yes.
Once in a while, you will find yourself following a link that becomes a dead end. Or you might just want to back up a page or two. The back button causes the browser to retrace its steps. And the forward button moves you forward. This will only work when you have used the back button. Also notice the three buttons we've mentioned are grayed out because the choices aren't available yet. The home button immediately returns you to whatever location has been set as the default startup URL. In Prodigy, this is the home page we're looking at right now. It is a good way to get back to the start if you get lost. The hot list button is sometimes called a bookmark.
Here, let's go take
it is a way to
see
save the URL of a page so you can come back to it easily. We'll use this in a moment. Save allows you to store the web page as an object file. Reload is a way to refresh the present screen.
Oh, we can go on.
At the far right is an important tool that
Prodigy.com.
allows you to turn off the
it
graphics
work?
download.
I'm gonna get
Graphics
a
files are very
virus.
large and often take a lot of time to download. If you turn the
It's
graphics
just
off,
loading.
you can
Oh,
move
well.
around the web much quicker. Then when you find something you want to view, you can turn the loader back on and reload the screen so you can see the image. Let's leave it on for now. Now let's move out to the internet. Let's go to the home page that's like a directory listing subjects to choose from. So we will type in an address of where we want to go. Click on Navigate and then on Get URL. Type the address http://www.yahoo.com. Be sure
Going
you
on
have the
Yahoo.
spelling and spacing exactly as we show it
Make
on the
Yahoo
screen.
your homepage. No.
This address will take us to one of the several subject encyclopedias that are constantly being updated with new web material. Click OK, Suzanne,
Click OK, Suzanne.
and notice the destination address appears on the bottom
Oh
line.
my God.
Once the requested page is completely loaded,
This
the
is
homepage
awesome.
title and URL address of our destination are displayed on the top lines of our screen. We have just linked the homepage of Yahoo, Suzanne. The first thing we should do is add this to our hot list. That way we won't have to
list.
remember the address. It will be kept in memory for us. So click on the
Oh
hot
man,
list
this
button.
is awesome.
The dialog box has a section at the bottom showing the current page
Oh
with
my
a button
God.
to add this to our hot list. Click on the add button.
Okay, this
A
part
second
is
dialog box asks us to confirm that we wish to add this site. Click OK. And now our hot list contains its first entry, Yahoo. Click Close to return to the web page. Yahoo provides a list, alphabetized by
Yahoo.
subject, of many areas of interest, and it is updated quite frequently. Alongside each subject is a number in parentheses which indicates how many separate URL links are available
Holy
for that particular
crap.
subject. Also
Economy,
noted is
only
whether or not any
11,000
new links have been recently added. Like any Windows-type
Events,
application,
72
Suzanne,
events.
there's a scroll bar
Wow.
along the right side. Use that to
This
move
is
us
cool.
down as we view this great list of subjects.
This is really awesome. I want to see where he's gonna go.
At the very bottom of the Yahoo list are some other general internet directories. So Yahoo provides hypertext links to other addresses that provide even further listings of sites of interest. Whenever you're in the web, it's pretty hard not to find another site to visit. Let's go back up and choose a subject, say science, and see what happens. In just a
Science.
moment, we'll see another list of more detailed topics.
Holy
Let's
crap.
choose astronomy.
Oh yeah, man. I want astronomy.
And a further detailed list appears.
Professor, we seem to be getting more specific with each page.
Yes, it
Oh,
is,
shut up,
Suzanne.
Suzanne.
Each layer we peel
I
back
didn't tell
gives
you
us
to
more
talk.
and more options that get more and more specific. Let's say we wanted to learn a little about comets. Hit your page down key, Suzanne, and click on comets.
What does comets have to do with astrology?
Our next choice indicates there is some information on the comet Shoemaker-Levy collision with Jupiter. Click on that subject.
Is it gonna be porn?
And
Is
we
it
get a
gonna be
list of
porn?
very specific choices along with a little explanation of each.
Damn it.
One of them is Comet Shoemaker-Levy, JPL. The JPL stands for Jet Propulsion Laboratories, the NASA-funded institute in Pasadena, California.
Wow.
Click there, Suzanne.
Of course.
Maybe we can see some
should all
good
know
pictures.
Gee, Professor, this might take a long time. Look at how slow it's going.
Yes, Suzanne, and that will give us a chance to mention something very important. Due to the varying speed of our modems and the clarity of our phone connections, it will sometimes take several minutes to download a home page, especially
Wow.
if it has a lot of graphics. And there might also be a delay in making the connection in the event that all the lines or ports are busy. While this is happening, I think we better talk about graphics, since it is one of the neat things about the web. Graphic files like we see now are available on the web. The larger the graphic file, the longer it will take to download it to your machine. Downloading is the process of receiving the data over the phone line from another source. In some cases, you might be interested in the graphics, or you might be interested only in the accompanying information. Remember, the web browser provides you a way to
Holy
view a
crap,
home
this
page
is
with the
taking,
graphic
like,
downloading
forever.
capability turned off. This allows you to move much faster around the web. When
Holy
you find an
crap.
area you are really interested in, you can turn the graphics loader back on and reload the home page. On the Prodigy browser, there are two places where you can turn the graphics on or off. The first is right on the top line
It says
where the
load
load images
image.
has a
Yeah.
checkbox next to it. Alternatively, if you check Options and Image Loading, you can toggle that capability from there. Toggling is a way to switch from on to
Man,
off
look how
to on
long
by
this is
repeating
taking.
clicks. Many times you will just have to be patient, since the connect and download time can seem like a relatively long wait.
Imagine how
In
long
most cases,
it
the
would
wait is
take to
well
load a
worth it.
YouTube video.
But don't
to tell
forget, you are
to
being charged
like and
usage time by
subscribe
the service
to
provider
90
that you
Stastic.
signed up with,
Man.
which is the negative side of
Guys,
long
don't
transmission
forget to like and
delays.
subscribe.
Well, Suzanne, I see that our screen has finally loaded, and that the URL says we're connected to JPL using a NASA link, which is
Yeah,
a
man. She hits
.gov or
back.
government site.
No.
I think we're in the right place. And now we have a screen full of pictures showing the comet fragments approaching and hitting the surface of Jupiter.
Whoa.
Suzanne, scroll around to see what we have.
Fascinating.
Professor, is all of that data ending up on my hard drive somewhere?
No, Suzanne, it's actually just going into the short-term memory RAM and video RAM, which is why the RAM requirements and video specifications for working with these multimedia features is so high. The data loads into RAM and then
It was
paints
like
the picture on your screen.
4 megabytes
Now,
of
Suzanne,
RAM,
move your pointer
of RAM,
over the
something
pictures.
Like that.
You'll notice that the arrow turns into a pointing finger again.
Ooh.
That means that each of those pictures can be called up in greater resolution, large enough to fill your
it.
screen.
Do it.
The only problem with that is, with that much graphical information coming down the line, it will probably take longer than we want to spend. So let's mark this page on the hot list so you can come back to it in the future. Click the hot list button, go to the bottom and click the add button.
Again.
Click OK, and then close the hot list dialog box. Suzanne, if you click on the back button on the top row, we step back, page by page, using the original path in reverse, like Hansel and Gretel following the trail of breadcrumbs.
Oh my God.
To
Hansel
move
and
directly
Gretel.
back to the Prodigy homepage, though, just click the home button.
Wow.
And from here, we leave the web by choosing File and Exit to move us back to the Prodigy program, where we end up at the introductory web browser page where we started.
Man, this is horrible.
On the screen now is a list of URLs for web home pages you might want to explore.
Commercial sites.
Well, that pretty much concludes our
CIA
tour,
World
Suzanne.
Factbook.
So click
Wow,
File
okay.
and Exit again to exit the Prodigy program.
I guess they didn't want us to see that one, eh?
The Exit command opens a dialog box giving us several choices.
So are we done?
One of them is End this session, which is exactly what we want to do. Click that button, Suzanne. There is the message that we are disconnecting from Prodigy,
Oh
which
my
means our
God.
telephone modem connection hangs up and our connect time charges stop. And we are returning to our window screen back on our own
I'm really
computer.
curious to know like how much
That was kind of a
this
whirlwind tour,
example just
Suzanne.
cost
What
them.
do you think?
Well, Professor, I have a much better understanding of what the internet is all about.
Oh, shut up,
And I
Suzanne.
was actually on it. Now I'm anxious to go back and explore some other topics we saw on the web, and to send some email to my friends telling them how much I learned and...
Okay, Suzanne. As soon as we get done here, you can sign back on.
You see?
thanks
You
for
see?
driving
Even
us
he's
around
like,
on
shut
our
up,
tour.
Suzanne.
I hope to see you and all of our other viewers out on the
that's good.
information highway in the near future, now that you realize how simple it is to get on and off the freeway. And don't forget to buckle up for safety. On the screen is a partial list of popular service providers. Each has a variety of services in addition to the internet access,
Genie,
and each
eWorld.
looks
Oh,
a little
eBum's
different
World.
when you sign on. As you develop proficiency with online access, you might decide to investigate the alternative providers to compare services and costs. To wrap up this lesson, Suzanne, I want to mention a few additional items. We didn't have time in this tape to let you try everything that is of interest on the internet. But there are a few other features that I at least want to mention to you,
You
so
can
you'll
find
know
a
what
few
they
naked
mean when you see them.
ladies.
Usenet is like a group of gigantic bulletin boards where you leave
Usenet?
messages that others can read and respond to.
Oh man.
This can sometimes happen in just a matter of minutes.
Hey,
The number of
imagine
topics in
if
Usenet,
that would
however,
still
is
exist
staggering.
today.
There may be as many as 9,000 or 10,000 different Usenet groups.
Which basically is a
And they
message
come and
board.
go as
Yeah,
people
so
have
Way to
interest.
go, JF.
There's probably a Usenet group for any topic that you can think of.
A what?
And if
A
there isn't,
Usenet group?
you can start
Okay,
your own
that's
topic
not what I
group.
heard.
It is international in scope and concept.
Professor, I once heard that there's a Usenet group for nuns who smoke pipes and own cats. Is that really true?
I wouldn't doubt it, Suzanne, although I've never run into that one myself. The FTP
Shut
feature
up,
is one of
Suzanne.
the older and more basic uses for the Internet. FTP stands for File Transfer Protocol and is a tool for moving files between computers on the Internet. On the Internet itself, files can move at incredible speeds. But remember that we are
saw that
limited
with
to the
that
speed
picture
of our
earlier.
modem. The number of files on the Internet available for every corner of the world in just about any language is perhaps many millions. These range from government data to educational and research data to commercial data. FTP is a wonderful tool for moving the data files once you've found them. But the trick, of course, is how to find the files you're interested in. That is where search tools, often called search engines, come in. Archie is one of these tools, and others are being developed constantly. Gopher is a tool that interconnects directories on Internet machines. A similar type tool is called Veronica, which specializes in keyword searches of most of the Gopher menus on the Internet. These are subject and keyword search engines that can scour the Internet in search of your request. The Wide Area Information Server, or WAIS, pronounced WAIS, is a tool that attempts to catalog all text documents
Isn't that
regardless
the
of the
Wide
type of
Area
computer
Information
host.
Server?
The entire topic of finding and retrieving data on the Internet could be the basis of several more lessons. Moving from place to place on the Internet is done with a tool called Telnet, which connects you from your initial host computer to a second host computer as if you were actually there.
So you are a
In
hacker.
fact, you must have the authority to log onto the computer you Telnet to, or it refuses connection just as if you were dialing directly.
Okay.
When you Telnet, you can move around the world in a matter of seconds at no additional cost to you. The finger function, as well as the whois command, are ways to learn about other users and computer servers from a distance.
They go
The
yourself
Internet
function.
Relay Channel, or IRC, is a great way to have a live keyboard discussion with people from all over the world.
Live chat.
On an IRC server, you find a topic of interest, use the correct commands to join into that group, and find yourself conversing over your keyboard with some very interesting people. There is really no way for us to even mention all the tools and services available on the Internet, much
Air
less
quotes,
explain each
interesting
one.
people.
However, there are literally hundreds of books that will guide you through the maze. One that we use a lot is the Internet Yellow Pages. This publication tells you virtually everything available on the Internet. You get thousands of listings, including many free
gotta
resources,
get this book.
in an easy-to-use A to Z phone book style. Call 1-800-822-8158 today
Internet.
and receive 25%
Oh,
off
man, what
when you
was the
mention
name?
this number. TS55VPA.
Damn it.
Before we look at installing
Yellow
America Online, I'd like to
Pages,
show you a fun
1995.
software program for the Internet. It's called
Imagination.
Imagination, the ultimate game that takes you on a voyage of fun and fantasy. Create who you want to be. Play against yourself or with people in other cities.
Yeah, that's cool.
All you do is click on the place you'd like to visit, and like magic,
It's
you're
on
there.
Amazon.
Battle dragons in
38
medieval
bucks.
land. Visit the electronic amusement park of Sierra Land. Take a seat at the schoolhouse for educational games.
What the hell?
Casino Land and other destinations await. Call 1-800-IMAGINE-1 today and receive your first 5 hours
Imagine
free when you
one.
mention Video Professor. Now let's take a quick look at loading the
America
America
Online.
Online program.
Isn't that
Place
like
the
the
America
competitor?
Online disk in your floppy drive.
Oh
Open the
man,
program
they're not going to
manager
go
group,
over the whole
click
thing
the
again.
File menu and select Run. In the File Run dialog box, type A:"Setup.
Oh my
If your floppy
God.
drive is different than A, change the drive letter in this command. Click OK. The setup program scans your computer to determine the best way to install America Online on your computer. When it has finished, you can accept these choices, review and make changes, or exit setup without making any changes to your computer. Click Install, Suzanne. Installation doesn't take very long at
click
all.
install, Suzanne. Stop asking those questions. Right to Santa.
When it's finished, a new group window appears in your program manager with an icon for America Online. The next step is to find out what phone number to use, and then have our modem dial in to set up an account on the America Online computer. Double-click the America Online icon, Suzanne, to start this next step. Both these steps only need to be done once, and then you're up and running. Here's a list of assumptions that have been set up as defaults. If all these are true, you can simply click the Yes button. If you want to make some changes, click No. Now we have a screen that lists some information you'll need to set up your account on America Online. Your America Online registration number and password are printed inside the folder that held your setup diskette. You also need a credit card or checking account number to pay the connect time charges once your allotted free hours are used up. Then click OK, and we're off.
I never
Your
actually
computer
used
is
AOL.
getting ready to dial. The first step is called initializing the
Wow.
modem. And then you may hear the dialing tones. And finally, the computer at the other end picks up and you're connected.
Oh my God.
The next screen
Thank
asks
you.
for your area code so it can give you a list of local numbers to dial.
Hey,
and
I
avoid
know
long-distance
that
charges.
part.
You'll need to choose your phone numbers and computer configuration just like we did with Prodigy. Your modem now hangs up on the first call and dials the local number you've chosen. And now we can complete the final step in setting up an account. Here's where you type the registration number and password that came with your disk. Well, here we are. We've successfully made the connection with America Online's computer. The Internet Connection button in the right-hand column opens the gateway to full Internet connection via America Online.
Damn it.
Click the World Wide Web icon. From here, you need to let America Online update your software so you will be able to access the web.
God. So it's going to cost you like 10
More
bucks
updates
just
will
to
come
download
periodically
the update.
to be downloaded as America Online makes changes to its program. This will take a while, but does not count as connect time.
Holy
Thanks
crap.
again, Suzanne, for being a great student.
I was
And
about to say,
viewers,
how
have
long is
fun
this
touring
video?
the internet. And remember, there's always more you can learn from me, the video professor.
Oh, shut up, Suzanne. That was cool. I want to see script John Rossi. I want to see Suzanne's name. Chris Jasek. Stephanie L. Keith. Alright, so it's not even Suzanne. Huh. Alright, guys, so that was how to use the internet. So again, I hope you guys had fun watching this with me. And hopefully you guys will share your early internet memories. So once again, don't forget to like and subscribe and check out the other videos on the channel that might interest you. We have Gabriel Knight that's going on, and we also have the King of Kung Fu tournament that is on the way. So make sure to check those out. So once again, thank you guys and have a nice night. All right, bye-bye.